Mr. JK here. Welcome back to it for another video. Today we'll be reacting to U.S. President's One Piece arc tier list, and this is by Almighty Will. Link to both the channel, or more so the link to the video will be in the description, where you can also check out his channel. So go check him out, show him some love. Anyways, we're gonna do this video right now. By the way, the 7 Days to Die video, which you guys saw I was working on, it's gonna take some time, so that might be coming out either Thursday or Friday, because that's a pretty long video I just did, so that's going to take some time. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing videos in between, or reaction videos in between me doing that 7 Days to Die 1.0 edition video. So yeah, anyways, I'm procrastinating. Let's get down to this. So of course, as always with tier lists, I'm also going to give my opinion on certain arcs and where I think certain arcs should go. If I agree or disagree with it, that's just my opinion. Same thing with you get, same thing with the person that's doing this video as well. Like it's first basically just his opinion on the matter, mostly. Anyways, I'm done talking, I'm done procrastinating. Let's get to the video.
Oh, finally!
In 3, 2, 1, go.
It's the Big T, Sleepy Joe, and Obeezy. This will be a good one, and make sure to like the video and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, we today have delighted you with our One Piece arc tier list with the boys, #Trump2024.
Did this motherfucker just promo?
Anyway, today, like Donald said, we'll be ranking the One Piece arcs from best to worst.
Okay.
And warning spoilers ahead, of course. So in this tier list, the arcs will be ranked in chronological order. And with that being said, we're starting off with the beginning of this long journey. We have Romance Dawn.
Shit arc, if it wasn't for Sleepy begging me to endure it, I would have never experienced peak. This arc was brutal for me to get through, and this trend would continue to follow. For the next 2 arcs, we can save time and throw this and the next 2 arcs in D+.
L+ ratio, fuck you. Donald Romance Dawn was a great opener to One Piece with one of the best McSee entrances in manga. And maybe I can agree it's kind of slow. The story is giving us character introductions and motives, like Kobe wants to be a Marine but is too cowardly to actually stand up to Alfredo.
Who?
And we learn how Luffy obtained his weird powers, and we learn his motivation to be Pirate King comes from Shanks, and his whole flashback was so good, and the stuff with Zoro and Quina, it's not the best, but lowest I can put this in is C+.
Who the fuck is Alfredo?
Oda did not do anything to make
Who the fuck is Alfredo?
it bad. It just has a slow start, which I do have to take points for, so we can meet in the middle at C.
Bro.
Okay, so Romance Dawn, the place they put it at, I would put it a little bit higher, but I can accept C or C+, wherever they're gonna put it. Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit slow on the startup, but as an opener, especially, oh yeah, I should specify something. For those of you anime only watchers, in the manga, the Romance Dawn arc actually starts off with Roger's execution and actually goes into Luffy's backstory with Shanks first, and then Alvida, and then get into Shell's Town with Zoro. That's how it starts off in the manga. Way different than the anime. Just off jumping. I'm guessing he's going off the manga and not the anime.
I don't know.
I think. But yeah, I would definitely put it in C+ maybe. But yeah, I'm okay with that. I can live with that placement. It's definitely a nice startup for what it was. And it's just outdone by other arcs that just get better and better.
Yeah, that's true.
But what you can't be serious.
Shut up, Kopi Joe.
Next we have Orange Town. I personally like the arc because the dog backstory. I like when dogs at the White House lick me.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What did you just say? Homie, what? Homie, what?
Sorry.
In Orange Town, we really get a
like, yeah, moving on.
peek into Nami's character, even though we don't know her motives yet, which could give you a different outlook on her that I'll get into later. This arc also introduced us into Buggy the Goat.
Buggy respect.
Buggy respect.
Buggy respect.
I don't care, but anything over C is crazy.
Buggy respect.
But the doggy.
You senile fuck.
But the
You're just
doggy.
mad when doggies lick you to take that Cheeto dust with them?
Anyway, can we agree on C?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'll give you C.
Okay, C it is. Okay, next we have Syrup Village. I personally did not like this arc. I feel it almost had no redeeming qualities except tying Kuro to Morgan's injury, making the story feel a lot more connected and not...
There's a little more to it than just that. One is it's definitely a bit of a lesson for the character of the arc, which is Usopp. By the way, my favorite character in One Piece is Usopp. He is my favorite.
No, he's got a point.
Because really, the struggle with Usopp is real. But yeah, like I said, like the best character in that arc is Usopp. Usopp is the biggest highlight in that arc. And also, speaking about this arc, I can kind of agree with what I actually can agree with what they're saying, because it can somewhat be tedious and slow in some areas. But I think it really shines at the end of it, funnily enough.
just linear. So I see a D+ is warranted.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I would put it in C, but D, I can accept D.
Plus it is.
So here we are with the Barati arc. First, we're introduced to the blonde hair Rizzler Sanji.
Kind of reminds me of
Baratier. I'm gonna let them finish, and I'm gonna give you my placement.
myself in my younger days.
You had blonde hair?
You know, everything back then was in black and white.
Shut the fuck up, Donald.
Anyway, Sanji also had a great inducing backstory. The best backstory so far, this arc also introduces Mihawk, one of the 7 warlords making the world bigger. And we see Sanji not having an ordeal within feeding his enemy Jin, and the rest of Don Krieg's crew, which only made his character stand out to me even more. We also have the fight with Zoro versus Mihawk, which showed us we weren't as strong as we thought we were. And Don Krieg isn't the best villain, but he did what he needed to do as an antagonist, so I would argue that he's the best antag up until that far. Also the homies Yosaku and Johnny. Sanji's send-off was emotional, which reminded me of my loss in the 2020 election, and the small inserts of Nami's presence is the perfect setup for the upcoming arc. Easy A, rank minimum.
Donnie spitting.
I agree it's a good arc, but I kind of felt like it was too much going on, the Barati stuff, the Zoro and Mihawk stuff, and the Nami subplot, which made it kind of hard to follow for me.
Of course, you'll be confused dozing on and off every episode, Sleepy Joe.
Me personally would shoot for S rank, but taking Joe's input into consideration, here it is. Okay, we made...
Okay, so I actually agree with this placement. They actually said most of what I was gonna say about this arc. One, it sets up one of the best arcs in East Blue, Arlong Park, which we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, to this arc, yeah, it does exactly what it needs to do. It's a great setup. Sanji's backstory, awesome backstory, like perfect, 10 out of 10. Love it.
I absolutely love.
Like, Jesus Christ, this arc is so good. Yeah, like me personally, I would put it in S tier too, along with Arlong Park, because to me, this, like, Arlong Park will be nothing without Baratier's setup, man.
What do you mean by that?
Baratier walks so that Arlong Park could run. Also, it does a lot of things. One, it sets up how tough the Grand Line is going to be with the introduction of Mihawk, like they said, and Sanji's backstory. Don Krieg, again, works for the arc, works for what it is. And also, the theme of the arc being holding back. What does it mean to fight for a dream, right? That's basically what does it mean to fight for what you believe in? What does it mean to fight for your dream? That's what this arc is. There's what I was trying to say. What does it mean to fight for your dream? And it's emphasized both with Luffy and Don Krieg's fight. And the funny enough, if you actually look back at all these East Blue arcs to a degree, it's highlighting something that Luffy has that the other ones lack. I forgot the name of this YouTuber I watched called. It has something to do with like Hot Boy Spicy, I think that was his name. And he talks about the fact that one of the big overarching things in One Piece is will, basically the like will to overcome any obstacle, and the like will in like every other aspect. And this one highlights like the will to fight and die for what you believe in. Yeah, so yeah, I agree with the placement. A, definitely. Me personally, I will put it in S, but I can accept A.
Made it to Arlong Park.
Look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. Look around at the square. I promise you right now. All we are is proud and passionate.
This arc is renowned as the arc that made 90% of fans fall in love with the show. You come into this arc only knowing whatever it was, something disturbed Nami as she left the Bharati. While Usopp and Zoro make their way to her, while Sanji and Luffy follow after them, it's the first major time when we see the government being corrupt with Arlong paying them off.
Yep.
Then when we finally find out what's been happening in Kokoyashi village. When we receive Nami's backstory from Nojiko, we can understand Inami acts the way she does when it comes to money, and the ordeal of her going along to save her village and family. And her backstory was actually perfect and well thought out, with her coming to terms with working with the people who took her mother away at such a young age.
Then when Luffy stops Nami from stabbing herself, we get a little more deeper into Luffy's character. She says, "You don't know what's been happening on this island the past couple years." He says he doesn't, which tells us he does not care about her past, nor does he concern himself with that. Then she finally cracks and finally asks for help. Not to mention the walk to Arlong Park is one of the best moments from the series. The monster trio and Usopp fights were different and interesting, like Sanji diving in the water to save Luffy. And when Usopp beat a fishman and felt so accomplished, which was a great moment for his character, which was deserved. Not to mention Genzo, Bellamere, and Nojiko all played their roles really well.
Not to mention the antagonist Arlong was so relatable. It was like looking in a mirror of myself.
Stop it. Get some help.
Couldn't be more wrong, buddy.
No need to discuss this, easily falls into S rank.
Agree.
Agreed.
Next up to finish off the...
It goes in the S tier, and it shall stay in S tier. Because, my God, this arc is so fucking good. On top of that, One Piece does this thing that other shonen series, I would say, like, that follows like the Dragon Ball formula, how to handle villains. And basically what I mean is it does the secondary character effect. Again, another YouTuber I watch called Totally Not Mark, who actually did a 100% blind review on that. And it's like, he brought up something that I've been talking about for a long time. It's like something that I think, to me, makes One Piece fights more interesting. It's the fact that each and every crew member has a shot at overcoming an obstacle. Not just Luffy. It's not just a secondary character effect. Secondary character effect being the case of the secondary characters are like the side characters coming in, fighting the villains, and then getting folded by them, only for the main character to come in and mop up the clean up the mess effectively. Where it's like just everybody couldn't like fight Vegeta. For an example, the whole Saiyan saga where Vegeta and Nappa show up and everybody else just gets folded until like Goku arrives, that would be the idea of a secondary character effect. In this case, you don't have that because each and every person is fighting someone that's either next to their level or just above their level. And then another person has to fight the other strongest, or the person has to fight the other strongest. It's basically a crew fight. It is a pirate manga, so therefore it should be a crew fight and not a captain beats everybody up effectively.
The East Blue, we have Lowage Town, to which we learn is where the king of pirates, Gold Roger, was born, and also where his execution was held.
This arc really did not have that much going for it. Zoro gets some new swords that was cool, and I like the introductions to Tashigi and Smoker.
I bet you would like Smoker the way you blow smoke out of your ass, but I digress. But anyway, this arc was pretty fucking mid all the way around. Shout out to Oda.
Logtown, I would put same with Barte, I would put Logtown in A. Because it does set up some things. One, it will set up some things that come around long term. For instance, it sets up like a little bit of a rivalry between Smoker and Luffy. It sets up Dragon. It sets up Zoro's connection to his village, even though he won't know that yet. Especially around like how swords and how cursed swords come around. Yeah, does a lot for that. Some people would think, that's not really a big deal with Zoro, but it does kind of set some things up there. It also sets up, no, I think that's about it. So again, it does a lot of good for setup, and it's a good way to introduce us to the Grand Line.
No Oda slander will be tolerated.
Yeah, you fucking cheese puff.
No one is slandering Oda. Don't get me wrong. Oda is the GOAT, but we all fall and stumble.
What are you talking about? When has Oda ever fell?
The Wano ending.
Moving on, the arc doesn't have a lot going on for it, but it's still a really good arc. I needed an at least B for me to be able to sleep at night.
I can take B. I'll take B.
You're talking as if you only sleep at nighttime, Sleepy Joe?
Trump, if you get arrested, I'm not pardoning your ass.
If you're still breathing by then, you fucking carcass.
I was thinking more in the C range, Joe.
Fuck, see, put this shit in D just to spite Joe.
See, it is then. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the homie Almighty Will for making...
Okay, I'm assuming he's going to split these up into individual videos. That's going to be the end of the video for now, hopefully, if he made more. If he didn't make more, I'll let you guys know. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.